What's up everybody and welcome to the Fight Franchise and our recap and review of the co-main event of UFC 304 where Tom Aspinall successfully defended his interim heavyweight title against Curtis Blaydes. I predicted this fight and thought Curtis Blaydes and Tom Aspinall would go to the ground and the fight would go to a submission win by Tom Aspinall. He didn't need to do all that. In fact, he didn't even need that long. The fight lasted 1 minute. I'm pretty sure it's now on record in the UFC's history. He has the shortest average fight time of anyone over, I think it's 10 fights. He's racking up a heavyweight list and performances like no other. He's akin to Francis Ngannou, not with the knockout power and brutality, but just the way he's finishing these guys and the speed he's getting these guys out of there with. Let's kind of break down the 1 minute fight and what we want to see going for Tom Aspinall going forward. One thing I said about this fight, I was happy it was a co-main event because the pressure wasn't on Tom. Worked out perfect. Came out with the music, Oasis, and then Move On Up. And then Cool, Calm As You Like, Touch Gloves, and then the striking on the feet. And the one thing I did say, Tom Aspinall is gettable on the feet. Curtis Blaydes, credit to Curtis Blaydes, his 1-2s down the middle are very quick. He's got very quick hands, Curtis Blaydes does. Lands a 1-2, they're trading 1 and 2s on the feet, 1 or 2 kicks here and there, and then they have this exchange, 1 or 2s, Tom Aspinall backs up, comes in, I think it's a short right-handed that he lands on Curtis's chin. Curtis drops, wobbles, goes to the ground. Tom Aspinall, and this is the one thing Tom Aspinall has that I can't even remember a heavyweight who has this. I can't even think of fighters on the roster who have this. But it's that instinct and finishing ability that when they smell blood, they just go for it. And he even said it himself. When Tom Aspinall has someone hurt or someone stumbles to the ground or someone goes down, he jumps on them like a shark to a prey. And he's there and he's landing ground and pound, or if he can't land ground and pound, he'll roll into a submission or scramble into submission. He may be the best in the world at that right now. I cannot off the top of my head think of somebody in MMA history at the minute, but who has that kind of instinct to finish guys when they're hurt. Aspinall, he lands on Blaydes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots. Goddard jumps in, Curtis protests. When I watched it the first time, I did say, early stoppage. Upon reflection, I still think it's an early stoppage because we could have seen him go out flat out cold, but he saved Curtis damage. Curtis was going nowhere. Tom Aspinall was on his back while Curtis was flat out on his stomach. All he was going to do is take more punches, so it's a fair stoppage. He was literally there, down like this, kind of defending like this, and he was just getting hammered. All that was going to happen was Tom Aspinall was going to land about 20 more punches than the 20 he had already landed. Fair stoppage. So upon reflection, at first I did think early stoppage. Upon reflection, I think it was a fair stoppage. Great performance. Rights the wrong of 2022, that fight night where he blew his knee out. Unlucky for Curtis Blaydes. To be honest with you, if it wasn't Tom Aspinall, who I think is one of the best fighters in the world right now, I actually would like to see Curtis Blaydes become champion because he actually seems like a quite cool dude. But unlucky for him, it just wasn't his night, and back to the drawing board he goes. As for Tom Aspinall, he said it on the mic, Jon Jones, you're next. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who. I think it's just Henan Barrow who's defended his interim title in the UFC. Arguably Tony Ferguson has, but they didn't count it because Tony won the interim title, didn't fight for Undisputed, and then beat Pettis. Was that a defense? But yeah, brilliant performance by Tom Aspinall. Defended his interim heavyweight title, called out Jon Jones on the mic. The English crowd was going wild, and it's what we need to see next. Dana White in his post-fight press conference finally said, yeah, he gets the winner of Jones versus Miocic if they don't retire. What do I think will happen? I think they will retire, and I think if Pereira gets past Ankalaev, he fights Aspinall for the undisputed gold. If Pereira doesn't get past Ankalaev, he'll fight Pereira for the undisputed gold, because I don't think Stipe Miocic and Jon Jones are going to stick around. I think when Stipe Miocic and Jon Jones eventually happens at MSG this November, I think Jones wins. Hiya guys, I'm in New York, I'm close to home, Rochester, New York. That's where I grew up, that's where I was born. It's time to call it a career. I'm in Madison Square Garden. I don't think Jones has fought in MSG off the top of my head. So that will be a kind of big thing for him as well. This is where Muhammad Ali fought. This is where Hulk Hogan fought at WrestleMania. This is where ex-boxer fought. Conor won the double belts. What a way for me to retire in the greatest arena in the world. That's how Jon Jones is going to sell it to you guys. And that's what he's going to do, in my opinion, which is an unfortunate thing for Tom Aspinall, because there was an opportunity to get a real scalp on your resume. Because I think Jon Jones, he is my GOAT, to be honest with you. I think he is the best fighter ever. Again, there's arguments around steroids. Did he fight the hardest competition? Was he a weight bully so much bigger than all these light heavyweights? Fair enough. I think Jon Jones in his prime at heavyweight versus, and I mean this is Jon Jones back in about 2015-16 Jon Jones versus Aspinall now. That would have been an interesting match, but I don't think a 37-year-old Jon Jones cannot keep up with Tom Aspinall. I don't think anyone can. He's a monster of a matchup in that division. He's got speed. We've never seen speed like it at heavyweight. He's got power, striking, grappling, and elite finishing ability. I don't think he's gone to decision in his career, which shows. Jon Jones recently beat Cyril Gane, but before that, his 5 light heavyweight title defenses before that were all decisions. I think Gustafsson was the only finish. So he's a nightmare matchup for Jones, which is why I think Jones retires, unfortunately. The one thing everybody's going to want, and this is a scenario we can get, Tom Aspinall is going to be back up for the fight. Stipe somehow gets an injury and Tom Aspinall steps in. That will be an unreal fight, Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones at MSG. Because if Jon Jones beats Tom Aspinall, then no one, and I mean no one, can say anything to Jon Jones. Yes, we can all say things, and we've all got reasons to say things, but if you beat Tom Aspinall, signed, sealed, delivered, it will be very difficult for somebody to touch your resume. The only person, on the current roster who can get close, you've got Ilia Topuria because he's undefeated, he's just won the featherweight title. You've got Shafkat, who's on an amazing undefeated run. Islam, maybe, but Islam lost to Adriano Martin, so that's a caveat against him. Nobody can come close to your resume, Jones, so there's that to think about. But other than that, excellent fight, excellent performance for Tom Aspinall. What do you guys want to see next? I feel like you all want to see Jon Jones. Tom Aspinall did pitch an idea at his post-fight press conference. He said, why don't we do a tournament? If they're so scared of me, we'll do me versus Pereira and Jones versus Stipe, and the winner of those face each other. Not a bad shout. But I just think it will go the way I've played it out. Imagine after all this Stipe beats Jon Jones. That would be hilarious. I don't think anybody thinks Stipe is going to win. We all just think he's too old and too slow, and he hasn't fought since 260, UFC 260, and God knows how old he was then. He's probably 5 years older, so yeah, Tom Aspinall will win. Tom Aspinall, great win by KO. Let us know what you thought of the fight in the comments down below. What do you think is next for Tom Aspinall? Put your prediction down in the comments below. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more MMA and fight content coming soon. And leave a like if you want to see Tom Aspinall murder Jon Jones in that octagon. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you in the next one.